You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, holy welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you are. There's something in the air, the dream of life in love, with minds that rest in prayer, sparking joy we're in awe. No matter where your path has been or time will somehow flies, like souls will come home again, true friendship ever thrives. Is this where the magic happens? Can you feel the farce revealed right now in you and me? The secret is wherever we are. There's something in a smile that can turn a day around. Moments so worthwhile when we find common ground. No matter what the day might bring, right here we can align, knowing that we will be seen as perfect, whole, divine. This is where the magic happens. Let's feel all the hearts, from close to me and me to you. The secret is wherever we are. So meet me where the magic happens, feeling all the hearts ignited now in you and me. The secret is wherever, the secret is whenever, the secret is together we are.
Good morning and welcome to our Sunday service here at CSL St. George. We're glad you joined us on this chilly fall morning. So I'll start with what our purpose is. Our purpose is to love, teach, guide, and support a spiritual community in creating and living a life they love using science of mind and spirit principles and practices. CSL St. George is a community-focused center, actively living, sharing, and nurturing its members and friends so that all may live their best lives. Our mission statement: we are an open, inclusive, and evolving spiritual community that supports its purpose and vision through the following ways: with sacred wisdom celebrations, empowering transformative education, youth and young adult programs, dynamic music ministry, and community inreach, as well as community outreach. So today's service team, I'll be hosting. My name is Gwen Hadley, and I'll also be coming back for a reading in a little bit. We've got Marina Anderson behind the scenes, making this just flow beautifully. We have Alan Stanley doing our music. Always wonderful to have Alan. Our practitioner, Bill Smith, will be providing the invocation prayer. And Rev Joe is back. So he'll be providing the message for that today. So Alan, good morning.
Good morning, Gwen. Hello, everybody. I thought Gwen was going to sing with me, but you could see her. Well, this is the time that we kind of sit back and relax and ponder. And Bill will come in here a little bit and offer our invocation. So sing along, hum along. Everywhere I am is holy ground, and I walk with God. Everything I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of pure spirit makes my life gentle and easy, gentle, easy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, and I live in love. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of sweet spirit makes my life gentle and easy, gentle, easy.
Good morning. I invite you to join me in affirmative prayer. Just settle back, close your eyes if you choose, and relax, and we'll go into this. So I'm just so pleased to open service today, knowing that we do so in the presence of the one true Spirit that is the source of all power in this universe, all power within each and every one of us. And I know that I share that power, and that power drives me, and it is what makes me myself. And I just know that power is present in each and every one of us, and particularly those that are joining us today. So I just know that today's message is loud and clear, and the way we look at power and the specific power that can only come through a relationship with God. I know that moves us forward, and that we all grow and progress. And I know that is true for me personally. So I just release my word to the law, knowing it is all good, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Joe. You too,
Okay.
Bill. Gotta get my eyes open. Everywhere I am is holy ground, and I stand in peace. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of pure spirit makes my life gentle and easy. Gentle, easy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, and I dance in joy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of pure spirit makes my life gentle and easy. Gentle, easy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for I walk in God. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of pure spirit makes my life gentle and easy. Gentle, easy. Gentle, easy.
So my reading today, I took from this month's Science of Mind magazine, and it's by our good friend Eugene Holden, and it's entitled Power to the People, since that's what our theme is this week and this month. So one power. There is only one power, and that power is God, the loving intelligence governing the universe. From this one comes all. Everywhere we go, we are one in action. The one power everywhere present is for our personal use. We must consciously use this power for our benefit and the benefit of others. Your personal use of this power is what creates the life that you desire. Power in numbers. There are approximately 30 trillion cells in the human body, all working together for one purpose, life. Though they have different functions, the purpose is the same. Like the cells, we are to work for the greater good of all. Believing is seeing. To experience a world that works for all, we are called to believe that it is possible. We believe we can be the instruments of unconditional love, which is the foundation of seeing a world that works for all. So I conclude with his personal affirmation. I see a world that works for all. I believe in the power for good that it is expressing through me now. As I believe this truth and I see this truth expressing as the grand rising. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Gwen. Well, this song takes us back a little bit. I'm sure you'll like to sing along to it. Love is but a song we sing, fades the way we die. You can make the mountains rain, or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Gonna love one another right now. Some may come and some may go, he will surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last. We are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Gonna love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Gonna love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. You hold the key to love and fear in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Gonna love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Gonna love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Gonna love one another right now. Right now. Right now.
Thank you, Alan. I was singing with you. Did you hear me?
I know you were.
Hey, wonderful. Have a great day. So now I want to introduce Reverend Joe to give our message, Power to the People. Good morning, Rev.
Good morning, Wen. How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Great, and good choice of reading today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Eugene's a powerhouse, isn't he?
You know, he is a powerhouse. We need to get him back to tape one of his services for us again.
Yeah, and you know, we have so many in our movement just like him. That's why it's so much fun to be part of CSL globally, right?
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you to Alan for 2 amazing songs. What a wonderful just energy builder. Come and love one another. So good morning. Happy October 20th already. And it feels kind of like it's been so much longer since I was just there last week. And what a great service that was. And if you came out, thank you. We had, it's good to see so many of you, especially in person. And I do want to remind everybody that this month next week we will be back in person, and Reverend Rachel's going to be giving a talk in person. And so I'm looking forward to that. And so just to remind you, come back out in person. We're growing, and it's all because of our community is allowing us to do this. So thank you. And speaking of community, that's where we're going to shift our focus of power this week. We started off the month talking about our relationship with power. And then the second week, last week, we talked about our personal power and how we can deal with that and use that to live a better life. And this week, we're going to look at the power of we. So the focus is going to shift from our personal power to embracing the collective power, collective of that we're living in all the time. I mean, let's be real. We have this kind of Western culture ideology that we're doing this by ourselves. And sometimes even people feel like CSL is too very individualistic. And let me tell you, the whole reason we do everything is to recognize and live our best life with others. And we couldn't do it, right? As we talk about others, they're a reflection of the divine, just as we are. So why not, well, as the song Alan just sang, come together and love one another and see how that could be a transforming power. So as we interact with each other, we open ourselves up to more diverse experiences, ideas, opinions, and it can be challenging, and it can also obviously be very beneficial, empowering, motivating, inspiring. And so let's contemplate how we can both empower others and be empowered ourselves. That's the focus of today, right? And one of those ways that we're going to talk about is how purpose gives us not only direction as in a power in and of itself, but the benefits of that and how that actually transforms. So I love this quote by Wayne Dyer, what to start out with. And he says, "You are at once a beating heart and a single heartbeat in the body called humanity." So I think this quote really just grabs that, yes, we are who we are. And yet it's not just us. We are in a greater body, a greater global community, a universal community, a community of infinite relations, because that's what God is. God is all there is. I take that in. And so, yes, we have to focus on ourselves. That's where our focus of control is. And yet, we're not doing this by ourselves. We couldn't do this by ourselves. And as we recognize that there's nothing outside of the divine, we're all doing this with each other, whether we recognize that or not. Whew, take that in, right? The one, the many, the one, right? It's hard, it can be challenging to grasp. And again, particularly as we talk about the we can really easily get caught up in the what we don't like focus, right? So what I want to focus on is all that, and because we have to acknowledge what is, but also the beauty as we collaborate with others, new groups, new communities, and celebrating while we're doing that, the uniqueness of ourselves, our own perspectives, our own ideology, our own experience and wisdom, as we bring that with a larger group. And we're always in a larger group, whether it's our family, our work, our school, our community, our state, our nation. And all the while, whether we're aware of it or not, we are co-creating a reality together. If we're all doing that, if we're all co-creating a reality together globally, wouldn't it be kind of important to come together so that we can have a common idea of how to do that and empower everyone? That doesn't mean it's going to look the same, okay, for each and every person. Okay? But there's a way that we can get there, I do believe. And in Science of Mind, we do focus on this power of collective consciousness. So we have our own consciousness, we have our own thought, which is always aligned. There's only one mind. So our mind is the mind of the divine. And we know that same for each one else. But as we focus on, as we contemplate everyone else, that's what we call that collective consciousness. So yes, we can control with our thoughts and so forth, but we are still receiving and in the energy of all the thought that's going on. And so we have to contemplate that as well and cope with that and prepare for that. And of course, when we know ourselves really well and we have faith and trust in God itself, then we can recognize and use that to amplify, as we said earlier, empower ourselves and empower others. And we simply recognize this in the most simplest way of aligning. We align our own thoughts with truth. And what we know is universal truth, not just what little me, Joe, thinks is true sometimes, some ways, but universal truth, which is true for each and every one. I don't care if you're listening to this video 3 years from now, a universal truth is a universal truth. It's the same for everyone, regardless of any possible ideas of separation, meaning where you come from, your religion, your race, etc. And that allows us, so as we overlook that, it allows us to transcend our limitations. And as we transcend our limitations, we step into the good, capital G, that is already there waiting for us. So in essence, the kind of what helped me understand the, me and we is the we are still the one, as in the one, excuse me, the one spirit, the one power, the one love, the one joy, the infinite mind that is forever giving of itself. We collectively are that, and I, as one, am collectively that. And so, there's a lot of times when we say, oh, we in Science of Mind, we don't talk about we because that means there's more than one. But if we're talking individuals, maybe I can contemplate, come up with a reasoning for that. But when we're talking about, as I mentioned, the word individualizations, okay, as I use the example of the one beam of light going through a prison, and I don't know if this is the right word, refracting, splitting up into many, but they all come from one, then we are all living amongst ourselves, doing within the same thing. We all come from one great, powerful, loving source. So we are the one, and I am one, and you as one are collectively we and one at the same time. So why not help our brother? Why not love our brother and sister? Why limit that, right? That's old terminology. Love everyone. All right. So together, as we contemplate this greater understanding of ourselves as the divine, constantly and always interconnected, we cannot be separated, then we come from the foundation of oneness and wholeness. What does that mean? We're just recognizing that we're all here on one great global team, doing the best we can to help each other live the best life that we can. This is a shared experience. Okay, we're doing this together. Even though I can't see those across the globe, I know that their best interest, they're trying to live in the best way they want to live, and that there is a universal pathway of doing this. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, says, we have conscious access to a creative power which is ready, willing, and able to respond to us constructively. Our conscious and specific use of it is limited to our awareness or understanding of it. So he reminds us that if we want to change our lives, okay, and we're at level 0 and we want to go to level eventually 5, we have to open ourselves. We have to, as individuals, first, be open to the ideas that are at level 5, to recognize that we, of course, are worthy to expand our selves, our lives to that more greatness, more comfort, expansion, more love, more joy, just the experiencing of life itself at a greater level of awareness. And if we're going to do that as a community, we must do the same. Right? So what came to my, and I'm going to shout out to my wife who helped me come up with the analogy because I was really stuck with regards to this we and I and so forth. Right now, a couple weeks away from a national election. And if you were just to watch TV, I would feel that, of course, everybody's entitled to your opinions. And there's at the same time, at this time of year, which are every 4 years, which I feel like should bring us together and you as a United States, really causes a greater sense of separation. It can. And while each side has their facts and their truths, it still doesn't feel great when we look at it as what's really happening. Both sides believe that their platform is what's best for the country. Okay. Yet as we continue to do this, or we continue to listen to the details, are we stronger in our separation? All this separation, there's only, and because everybody comes from the going way back to the earlier in the year, it's this or that instead of a this and that. So is there another option? What if we brought in this idea of a common purpose, the power of purpose? Now, not just individualistic purpose, but this idea that what if we looked out for what is truly best, a common vision of the United States that is in peace and in prosperity and abundance for all, that all have housing and food and clothing and care, all sorts of care, physical, mental, emotional. What if we, if we can come together, well, those are all the dividing points, Reverend Joe. Yeah, so why don't we just kind of leave that and pull back to the general idea of just our country living in peace? Maybe we'd let go and let the divine figure out the best and the highest way for that to happen. And yet we have to do this together. If we agree upon that we are living in the greatest time of peace and prosperity for all, then that will come through at its highest level. But when, just like individuals, we say, well, it has to come this way, through this person or this window or this door or this job or this relationship, we severely limit what's going on. So what I tend to do, well, first of all, one of the things that we do as a collective in CSL ministers is we have a daily phone call prayer. It's an automatic, it's recorded, but it's just for the last whatever days we're on now, 70 something days. Every morning we get a call and it just has a 2-minute, 3-minute message to focus us on this common purpose of just kind of ignore the sides right now, because there's one side of spirit expressing itself at the highest level it can through the collective, through the we. And the best way for it to focus and come in through the collective is for, at the same time, us to be on alignment with that common purpose, and for us individually, uniquely doing our own thing and allowing that in. If we stay stuck in the fine prints and the details, again, we just hold ourselves back, even though we're adamant, this is the best person, this is the best policy, this is the best law. And maybe it is. But we all, each of us individually, have a very limited view. Let us open to the infinite view of the divine. This one mind, this one knowing, this one presence that's got it all down. If we just say yes to this greater idea, look, if we're called to action and it's in your heart and it's aligned with universal truth, then that is the action that you need to take. And yet consciousness, it's all consciousness. So as we do this together, it amplifies. Purpose will help us amplify the power that we're already aware of and boost it up. And this leads to a quicker and easier and faster outcome that we're all seeking. Like, we know this, if we have one small flame, a match, let's just say, we're trying to boil water and we have one match. we know that the more collective matches we bring in on this common purpose of heating the water in the kettle, it helps, it amplifies, it brings it to a boil quicker. Okay? So now let us, in essence, bring ourselves together to co-create this amazing, we're already in the best country. And we have so much freedom that, as it is said, we can choose bondage. We can choose to believe that we're not free. Okay? Now, what are some smaller ideas of this? We talked about a national one, but even when we do simple things like potlucks, right? There's a common purpose, and many people come together and share their unique style, their unique way with others. And it makes it, as we bring it all together at one sitting, it's an enjoyable co-creative experience. There's even things like, I remember as a Cub Scout, like doing community cleanups. We'd go to parks and clean up the garbage and things like that. And it gave you a sense of belonging, sense of something bigger than myself, bigger than ourselves. Or fundraising. It feels like it's nonstop when you have children in school or you work for a school, but raising funds, right? Collective, we want to hit that point. We join together to reach that goal. And as I mentioned last week, the power of volunteering, right? That's for our community, for our center. This focus of purpose allows us to pool our strengths together for a common cause, right? And one of the ideas that came up to me was when in school, if you've ever had to do a group project, that would be an example that can be very challenging because especially at a young age, you're kind of locked in to what you think and you have to navigate the differences because you all have that common purpose and common goal of getting a good grade and completing the project in the way that the teacher wants us to do it. And yet it can be a really fun and amazing and comfortable experience, but often it's growing outside. There's some giving and taking and compromising, and that's part of life. Right? So when we unify with each other, we harmonize, and that allows us to, with the power of purpose, create a beautiful life, a beautiful experience. Life is very long, but what about just experiences? The experience of today, the experience of Sunday, October 20th. How can we come together and focus together and help each other through this? So some other ways we gather in groups is meditation and prayer. We know scientifically that the more people that come together and focus on a common idea, the more powerful in healing and supportive and connecting that it can be. James Twyman, who I had the opportunity to meet some years ago, he still does this, but he used the example way back when during Desert Storm, he gathered people from online, and at a particular time, they all prayed for peace in the Middle East. And there was a real experience that happened from that because there was that night that they prayed. There was supposed to be a huge movement, and which was the beginning of an attack, basically, for the U.S. And it was, no one knows why exactly, but that was all shut down, and it didn't happen. And there was peace that evening. There were no not wars, but they were in the middle of a war, but there were no extra battles going on. And I can even tell you in Greg Braden's, he has a video called The Science of Miracles. And in it, he shows a real live video of some practitioners, medical practitioners from the East, using the power, collective power of healing. And there's a woman who had a tumor about the size of a golf ball. And they showed that on one side, and then they locked it in. They froze it so you could see the before. And then they started chanting. And they know the truth, that as they focused their ideas, their chant was already gone, already gone, already gone. And you would think, oh, it would be serious. They weren't serious at all. Not that they took what they were doing seriously, but they had such faith in the God that they pray to, which is the God that we pray to. They knew how this works. this power collectively. And it took just a little over 3 minutes, and you can literally in live video watch that tumor shrink and just go. That's the power of collective, joining a collective for a common purpose. Myrtle Fillmore says, when we come together in the spirit, we are all, we all are one in the true place of the Most High. Our words become charged with great healing power to go forth and do mighty works. And that was a perfect example of that. So another way that we gather together in purpose is our purpose. And there it is right there. And Gwen spoke it earlier on the first thing. This is our purpose as a community. And as your senior minister and spiritual leader, I ask you, wherever you are, to send your loving thoughts to join our purpose in cause, which is to create this spiritual community in Southern Utah and that offers support and love and wisdom and experience and community and fellowship through using science of mind practices and principles. We gather together with like minds, and we're doing amazing things. It's already working, and yet the more, the merrier, as they say. We are open. We are loving. We are inclusive. We take you where you are. We recognize that. We do our best. Are we perfect in the sense of coming as an of God? No. As individuals, we are constantly working to be better. And I welcome your suggestions for us to be better. And I welcome you to join and volunteer and bring in your light to make the more powerful center light that we have as a community. Again, as we harmonize and align with this collective and creative power, we're able to fulfill our wildest dreams. And I see our center in mind absolutely growing, continuing to grow. I see our physical center. So I know it's there. And what I believe is you can't feel something that doesn't exist. So the way that we're going to make our reality, our dream of our own center and our big community, which is supporting like-minded people, is to continue to walk the walk, to see it happening, to collectively pull it out of consciousness into form. And that's what we're doing in each and other time. And as we do so, we're empowering ourselves and we're empowering others. And that is, again, this power of the collective, right? Empowerment, which is a profound concept, right? It's, I feel better, and as I feel better, you feel better. So as I feel better, we feel better, right? And so we support each other to their capacity, to their willingness to be helped, right? And when we do this in a group setting, it amplifies that amount of spirit flowing through the channels that it's able to do so. So as we collectively gather together, just like in the previous examples, like we're going to do, I know she put in a slide, but we're going to have an outdoor gathering Saturday, November 9th, which is the Saturday before the first in-person service of November. As we gather together, okay, we're going to do a meditation. And I guarantee you, if you do meditations on your own, that's one thing. And when we do them together, it's a whole nother level. And it doesn't just benefit one, it benefits all, right? So when we apply empowerment within a group setting, we're extending the support to all, right? And at the same time, as we're all doing this, we're each individually receiving that benefit, right? So in other words, in both scenarios, we're using the power of spirit individually and collectively to better ourselves and our community and our lives. Look, this is, as we go through life, each and every day is a wonder of what it holds. And as I told you, I mentioned last week that the previous couple of weeks, I really recognized how much I was allowing myself to get caught up into limiting myself into the only what I can see and sense. And so this past week, I've gone back into our foundation, which is knowing for sure and practicing first on my own that I do live in a world of peace, as Eugene's reading talked about. And I do see that everywhere, right? We ground ourselves. I ground myself each and every morning. And you know what? Overall, the week was so much more enjoyable. I got more out of it, and I know that I was able to offer more collectively at my school and that I work at and for my family. And there was one particular day that was extremely challenging, dealing with a suicidal student, and things kind of, in the end, she's well, but it was very challenging with the way it all kind of happened. And I kept reminding myself even then, okay, if I'm little me's trying to figure all this out, no, I have a team that I work with. And then we have outside resources. And so I kept reminding myself that, look, the infinite is infinite layer upon layer upon layer of love and support and care and compassion and empathy. And it's all here right now. And as I continue to focus on that, things happen perfectly. And we can each do that. I love this quote. I want to share. And it says, to inspire people, don't show them your superpowers, show them theirs. And that's, if we're going to empower people, right? I can empower you. Again, I gave you an example of how I'm using the power of science of mind daily. And that yet, if I can point out now, you could do the same thing. That's how we amplify ourselves and brighten our lights together by coming together. It's not just me. I am no superhuman. Okay? I have a certain amount of knowledge and wisdom, and yet there's things that I don't see that are right in front of me. But what I want to tell you is you, just like I, have it all because it's all open and available to us. So are we willing to allow these new thoughts and ideas? Are we willing to open ourselves up to join the community, to recognize it's not just us doing it all by ourselves? Whether it's our immediate family, whether it's the community outside or the employment place of employment that we work, or it's our spiritual community, or maybe it's just a smaller group, maybe it's a book club, and so on. But can we, by being ourselves, help to empower others, right? Embrace that role, right? Where we know ourselves and know the outcome, even if we're not sure, and I don't mean specific outcome, but because we know the divine works at the highest and best for each and every one at all times, that we're fostering growth, we're fostering expansion. Okay. And that's, there's some times when we try things and maybe it doesn't work in the sense of it's not the right time, it's not the right alignment for us at the time. And that's important to know too. We're not stuck. And then we try something else. And even, I don't call it a failure in the sense of it didn't work out at that time. I really wanted this book group that I joined to work out. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but I benefited somewhere. If I look for that silver lining, I'll find it. And maybe I help somebody else in the process. Okay. Again, as we shine our lights and comfortably, we give permission for everybody else to shine theirs. And we do this through our own unique strengths and abilities. Now, what? I'm talking about the we, yes, but the we comes through me, and I attach with that. So what can you give? What can you offer in the moment to the collective? And again, it doesn't have to be hard, right? So as we recognize and encourage through our unique strengths, we encourage others to be their best unique selves. We grow the strength of the community. And going back to when there's a common purpose, it makes it that much easier. Okay. So it's the example I like to use, going back to like a team, right? If I'm a coach and we're doing well, we have the team, we congratulate the whole team as a whole. And it's also important, and a good coach will meet with every individual player and amplify what they do well, right? And so again, we're saying, hey, we're doing amazing with this common purpose, guys. And you know what? Kathy, you were amazing at this. And John, you were amazing at this, and so on and so forth. So we empower that infinite light within us constantly by acknowledging it's there. And again, folks, we're all doing the best we can with what we have and where we're at. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed individuals can change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has. What a powerful, profound quote by Margaret Mead. Right? She just nails it. And so as we come together in a group, it's Spirit takes all this diversity, right, and uses it as a power, as a strength. So we don't have to individually figure it out all the time. What we trust is in that greater power and presence of God itself to, as we collectively say, have a common purpose to show us the way. Isn't that what we say? Right? So are we mindful of how we're engaging with different groups, with different ideas? There's going to be disagreements. There's going to be different viewpoints. Can we recognize in back of it is that one divine presence and power? Allow that to empower us and recognize, even though our personal selves, well, I don't like that particular view. Okay, but it's important to have other views, isn't it? How do I know what I like if I don't know what I don't like? So let's bless that person with their ideas and their behaviors and their culture and their ways of doing it, in the sense that it's not hurting themselves or anyone else, right? So when we yield our power that is aligned and aligned with love, right, and pure positive intention, we create a space that now opens a safe space that opens others to discuss. That is a co-creative space where people feel comfortable sharing their ideas, sharing their unique perspectives. And that's what we need, right? The more spices and flavorings we have in our kitchen, the more we're able to collectively make. And there's maybe some days that I just don't want that hot sauce. Okay, I don't have to get rid of it and banish it. Okay, I can just leave it on the shelf and choose something different. So by coming together with a common purpose, and I want to add in this ingredient of consensus. So what am I saying is, when we come together, because there's such a diversity of ideas at times, that it's important to have that safe space to discuss what's going on and what the current direction. So when we do that, often the old way was one person's in power. It's the boss, it's the owner, and they say, okay, I've listened to you all and this is what we're doing. But there's another way of leading, of making decisions, and that's by consensus. And that is how our leadership at Centers for Spiritual Living St. George operates. We know who we are, our purpose, and we know why we're here, which is our vision. So all of our decisions that we make must align with those two things, and we agree together. And there's times when we have different viewpoints, and yet it's amazing how, when we open to acknowledging what is our common purpose, that there's times when it takes a little longer, but we always end up agreeing, okay, this is how it is. And we trust that. We trust in the presence and the power of the divine, that, you know what, even if we collectively make a decision together, if it's not for the best and highest good, we'll know, we'll get the feedback, and we'll be able to make adjustments. And so as we look at other groups, maybe it doesn't turn out the way we want it to. That's all right. We are forever changing. Just like we mentioned earlier with regards to, or I'm trying to remember, I read that it was the reading this morning of Science of Mind, how within every few months, every atom within our body is new, right? So that's okay. We're replenishing ourselves. We're replacing what no longer feeds us. And yet, while we're doing that, we're taking care of ourselves. We're taking care of the collective. I haven't had a quote from Rumi in a while, so I found one that aligns with our talk today. And that is, he says, "Friend, our closeness is this. Anywhere you put your foot, Feel me in the firmness under you. Now take that in. Take that in, because that's, while it's inspiring, my mind goes to, ooh, that could be challenging. Are you going to be there to hold up someone with a different ideology? Are you going to be there to hold up with someone who looks different, dresses different, follows a different faith, maybe that hates you openly? Can we still be there and support them and empower them? That's our path. And Rumi was there. He was at the level of Christ consciousness. He recognized truly the divine in everyone. In other words, he saw the truth within them, even though what they were showing was a skewed perspective of their truth. He saw truth in all. And as we come together, so much more power to see the truth in ourselves, in each other, and outside of the group. Again, the power of a meditation. So, I'm going to conclude here because I'm watching our time. I covered that. So I guess to really sum up, and you can see I feel like I'm struggling because there's so many different ways to announce this, and when we're talking about the we, and so one, it's important to acknowledge who we are individually, and two, that we are not doing this together or by ourselves ever. We are always doing this in a larger community. And the power of intention, the power of positive purpose and focus will help us get to where we, as individuals, we as a collective group, whether it's small or national or especially globally, will be able to co-create and live from true peace. I do not believe, I'm going to focus on, I believe that we are on the way to having a world of peace, collectively, a world of love. Why do I say that? Because I know it's already here. And as I continue to look for it, especially as I grow, and especially as I share it with like-mindedness, every time I'm gathering with people, I feel a greater and greater and greater and greater power. So I guess as we yearn for like a deeper sense of belonging and we seek opportunities to share our passions and talents, we're going to do this with each other. So let's be open. Going back to Alan's song, let's love on each other. And let's focus at the same time in our community, our spiritual community, to love on each other, to grow collectively, to have our common purpose in mind and in prayer. I'm going to we end with our affirmations. What are we affirming? And it's simply together, we empower each other for the greater good, right? Get out of the details, go back to the general. I can handle that. That feels really good to me. So let's take this into prayer. What I recognize is the power of the one divine presence and spirit is me, is the we. There is nothing but God expressing in, as, and through its creation, which is myself in human form and all others that are listening. And it is all the reality that I see and experience around me and sense around me. So in essence, there is one universal we coming from one individual source. It is love. It is truth. And I know this love and this truth is open to everyone who hears my voice. It expressing at each and every moment. At each and every moment, in any moment, we can choose to tap into the power that creates universes. It is not outside of us. It is a choice. And what I know about this power of presence, it is right here, right now. It is co-creating a beautiful world, a beautiful nation, a beautiful and loving and peaceful United States of America, a beautiful and peaceful wherever you find yourself right now, especially for this community of CSL St. George. We are open to We are loving what is, and we are open to Spirit expressing at the next and perfect and higher level. We are so grateful for the leadership. I am so grateful for the volunteers. I am so grateful for the love and support of every member and friend that shows up and prays and supports us in their own way. Collectively, we are powerful as one with a capital O. We are whole, we are perfect, we are complete. So it is.
Thank you, Reverend Joe. What timely messages I think we all need to hear, because we are the people, all of us together. And sometimes we forget that when it gets tough.
It's only going to happen through us collectively, yes.
Amen. Thank you. So some announcements for today. And Marina's going to bring them right up. Okay, so prayer requests, we have them. You can see the address there to send in a prayer request. Also, at our in-person gatherings, we have a little box where you can actually write down a prayer request so that the practitioners can pray with you, for you, whatever you might need. As Reverend Joe said, we have 2 in-person services. So our next one is on October the 27th, and then again on November 10th as we move towards meeting in person full-time. So we look forward to that. A fun thing he also mentioned, we've got a picnic at Pioneer Park on Saturday, November the 9th. We're not sure if it's going to be a potluck, so there'll be more information coming, but that is at noon to 4, so always a great time when we can gather together. Join us, as always, at noon for our Zoom conversation. Also, an announcement. Marina had said this a couple of times, but we need a new social media coordinator. So if you've got some experience with media, with technology, and there is a stipend to that, I believe $150. So it's only about 8-10 hours a month, a week. So not a lot of time. So if you're interested in doing some of that work, let us know. We have an upcoming class, A Complaint-Free World. Boy, that's timely too. So you'll see more information coming in the newsletter and online. So Abundant Prosperity, there are many ways that you can support us meeting our goal to not only help our community, but to find a new home for our center. You can give with Zelle. Look at the newsletter for instructions. That's a very easy way to give. That's my preference. You can give online. There's a PayPal link or a QR code you can scan on your phone, or the old-fashioned way, you can give by mail. So upcoming, again, in person next week, our staff minister, Reverend Rachel, will be here. And then on November the 3rd, following Life is Sweet Life, Let It Rise with our own Rev Joe. So Marina's going to get everyone together on our screen so that we can say our closing affirmation. I invite you to say it, speak it out loud with us. It makes it very, very powerful. So I think we have everybody up. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all that I do.
I am it. I embrace it, and I share it.
Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is becoming. Thank you.
Life. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Check your emails. We will have all the details coming out this week, so you can get your book. There it is. We're starting November 5th and doing Tuesdays in November. So join us. The charge is a love offering, and Reverend Rachel and I will be teaching. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Just 4 weeks.
See you on Zoom, everybody.
Happy Sunday.